Hello, and welcome to a news reporter's guide to a police shooting. This edition answering the question, why didn't the police officer just fire a warning shot instead of shooting the subject? The intended audience for these videos are news reporters and others in the media who need background in order to fairly and accurately cover a police shooting. My name is Brian Augenthaler, and I've been defending law enforcement my entire career, including on cases that involve the application of deadly force. This video is not being made on behalf of any client of mine, and I'm not speaking as an agent for any police officer or police agency. Let's first define the term warning shot. It's defined as a discharge of a firearm for the purpose of compelling compliance from an individual, but not intended to cause physical injury. Most police departments do not allow warning shots. The reason is primarily that a bullet that comes from a gun in the warning shot context is just as dangerous as a bullet fired from a gun in any other context. The bullet from a warning shot is very capable of killing someone, including possibly the subject, and is actually more likely to injure an unintended target, such as an innocent bystander. Another reason that police departments generally don't allow warning shots is that a warning shot runs contrary to the training that police receive throughout their entire law enforcement career, which is to only shoot where a subject poses an imminent threat of death or great bodily harm, and to do so with the express intent of incapacitating the subject. By permitting warning shots, those officers will have another layer of risky decision making to go through in a situation that is by its definition rapidly evolving and dynamic. Simplifying that decision process serves to benefit police officers and the public, and complicating it has the opposite effect. The warning shot also poses a practical problem for police officers, and that is, where is the bullet supposed to go where it doesn't pose a potential risk to innocent bystanders or to anyone else that might be in the vicinity? And the obvious answers there are to shoot up into the sky or shoot down into the ground. Ultimately, neither of those are very effective bullet traps either, because shooting up into the sky ignores what Newton would tell us about what goes up must come down, and when a bullet comes down, it's traveling at a velocity that is capable of injuring or killing someone, and shooting at the ground can result in a ricochet that can send the bullet in an unintended direction. So those are not great bullet backstops. In many instances, warning shots simply do not accomplish the goal that the officer had in mind. There have been documented instances where warning shots have killed bystanders, where a warning shot was believed by another officer to have actually been fired by the subject, and where the firing of the warning shot simply had no effect on the subject, or actually caused the subject to run faster as opposed to stopping. This is not to say that warning shots cannot be effective. And the goal of a warning shot is certainly worthwhile. It's an attempt at de-escalation short of the use of deadly force. And that's why the International Association of Chiefs of Police have announced that in its most recent consensus policy, warning shots will be allowed. The IACP, which is a well-respected professional association of law enforcement worldwide, outlines very strict guidelines for the use of a warning shot. One, they are to be used only when the officer has a defined target. That's that bullet backstop that we were talking about. Two, that the use of deadly force is justified. And three, that the officer believes that the warning shot will reduce the possibility that deadly force will be used. In terms of defending lawsuits against the police, the most troubling aspect will be that claimants will contend either that the officer should have first used a warning shot prior to the application of deadly force, as if it were a prerequisite to the use of deadly force, or that the use of the warning shot was itself unjustified. So rather than reduce risks associated with law enforcement litigation, it may actually increase it and might complicate some cases that would otherwise involve a fairly straightforward application of deadly force. It's doubtful that many departments will adopt a consensus policy allowing warning shots, and at least one large department, the Detroit Police Department, has come out against the policy, stating that it was a foolhardy attempt by the IACP and one that was not applicable to real-world policing. Police officers are constantly battling the perception that they are capable of superhuman feats like shooting a gun out of a subject's hand. And injecting the possibility of a warning shot seems to add to that perception. When confronting an imminent threat of death, which is the standard, it's doubtful that the police officer will have time to find a new target, taking her eyes off the subject, and fire warning shots, much less enough time to reacquire her target in the event that the warning shots are not successful in de-escalating the situation. I hope this answers the question of why police officers typically don't use warning shots. Thank you for watching.